How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here. 11:46. Still in the AM. Making a video here. We're parked up at Valley Village waiting to actually start my first day at the new job, but I can't give you any information about that. So I kind of want to talk about something. This has actually been a bit of a big deal a couple weeks ago. By the time I'll upload this in probably about 2 weeks, so it'll be about a month by then. But needless to say, it's still going to be a big thing, and it's not obviously going away. However, when I do say this is going to be a very controversial topic, which I actually do try to avoid on the channel, because such matters normally get a bunch of people pissed off for no reason, because it's just another man's opinion, right? You know, you could have your opinion, and I would be more than happy to hear it. So anyway, that being said, let's just fucking dissect this shit, man, because it's going to be brutal. So they have this race. I don't know. There's a specific name for there, but you know, like you'd have like the little meter running races there, right? Where you know you run, and you know, and you beat the guy next to you, right? You're riding like the 500-meter yard thing, and you run it faster than the guy next to you. You cross the finish line, and it's like, oh, fucking nice, right? And you know, you get the spoils, right? So there's this video, and it's just this chick, and she's, I don't know, she's probably like 12, and she comes out there and she's just like, listen, and I know this isn't obviously going to be like 100% like this is exactly the article, but you'll get the idea. And she's like, listen, yeah, I got fucking vanquished out there, like I had no chance. You know, it's like running up the beaches, man, like they're just gunning you down, there's no chance, right? Yeah, and that's what happened. And she's like, because there was a female, but it was actually a male who had transitioned into a female, but like there was no fucking competition, right? Like I'm no science, I don't know biology, and I don't know stats. I mean, supposedly men are, you know, statistically, not every guy, like I mean I'm a pretty skinny guy, I'm sure there's a woman out there who could fucking pick me right up and just break me over her leg, but statistically, apparently, men are like, I would say more capable in like the physical department. I mean, again, I don't necessarily believe, like, I guess, yeah, that might be true, but like not every guy is gonna go and like, okay, I need to get to 100%, right? Like there's no doubt in my mind there are women out there that are much stronger than men, because like they've worked their butts off. Yeah, they might have to work a little harder for it, but I just want to put that into context, because supposedly that's why this guy has won, or female, sorry. This person has, I'll just say person just to keep it neutral, but this person has won because being born a male, they have that superiority, right? They have that. That's why, like, when you look at like women's sports and then male sports, right, there is kind of that flux, or they like put them together, right? You have like a man on one team, like on like tennis, right? You have like a man and a girl on both and on the team, right? And that kind of fares it up, because I guess obviously it would be unjust if it was like a man versus a female in, say, tennis. Like maybe the guy has more stamina or something, I don't know. But there's a whole thing about that, you can look into that on its own. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this chick gets vanquished, man, no chance, and she's pretty certain of it too. Like she's like nobody came anywhere near even close, we're never gonna beat this guy, you know, or female, right? We're never gonna beat this person, and that's just kind of the way the cookie's gonna crumble. It's like no matter how hard we're trained and we do it. Now I don't know if that's true. I mean, maybe that is actually, I don't actually know, but if that's kind of the case, and I'm not saying that it is, but if it's the case, that's fucked, you know, because like she's got a good point there. Like no matter what they do, like we're talking steroids or anything, you know, they're not going to beat this individual. Like they're just going to lose no matter what. Like second place is the top they're ever going to look at, and that's really unfortunate, because you know it to me it would defeat the whole purpose of doing it in the first place, right? Like you would want to go there and, you know, and you'd want to have a chance. You're not going to obviously get first place every time or anything, you might never get it, but like there's a good opportunity that like it's there, and you know, if you work harder than the other individuals, the chances of you getting it are much higher. But like this way around, it sounds like no matter what the fuck you do, you're never touching it, man. Like this person on their like lowest performance will probably still crush you, right? You know, and I think it would take like a mental thing too, like knowing that, and then be like, man, like what the hell do I do, right? Like what are my options? Like why would I even bother doing this anymore, right? If that's the case, right? Because like I'm not going to stand a chance, the other chicks aren't going to stand a chance, and this one person that is a chick is just going to beat us all every time, and we're not, it's just not going to be, it's not just. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm sorry it took 5 minutes to kind of say that all. But basically, yeah, that's the idea. The whole consensus about it is like, this chick is like coming out, you know, she's coming out pretty strong, making some statements, and, you know, I don't argue that. I mean, I think she's kind of on the right track, if that makes any sense. I think she's on the right track there. You know, the only way to really talk about this shit is to literally just do that in itself, is to talk about it, is to get awareness and to speak out about it and make a statement, you know, in a positive manner, right? And not like, you know, like coming out here, like making my video would be like, you know, fuck this person, right? Like, fuck all of them. Like, no, man, you come out there and you're like, you know what, I get where they're both coming from. Like, I haven't heard anything about the individual who won, from their perspective, but I've heard from this chick, you know, and then of course you start reading some comments, which is very common for me to do. And a lot of people say things, right? And they're like, you know what, like, man, like you're lucky, like you're jeopardizing your career, or, you know, in the sport, because, you know, you're kind of being vocal about that. Your opinion might get put down. And like I said, that to me is shocking, that like you can't even be vocal about an opinion. And again, it's not like this person's out there and like, you know, fuck this person. It's like, dude, this is just how I feel. A couple other individuals that maybe don't want to say their names, that's what they're thinking too. You know, I'm not alone. What do you guys think? Like in general, like if she was talking to people there. I mean, I guess it's to a camera, so I guess it counts. I don't know. I think the whole thing's a bit ridiculous. I don't know how they didn't like predict this to happen. Like when this transgender movement thing started happening, and I'm all for it, like go for it. You know, whatever you want to do, right? I'm not going to stop you. I mean, I think it's a bit over the top. I'm not going to lie, but go for it, right? However, this is where like you start having problems, right? Because then there's like, you know, in certain companies, there's like insurance policies for like men and female, and you know, like if you're kind of in between, you know, they don't really have something set up for that, which is really awkward. You know, there are female only benefits to like, say, being like a business owner, right? That's something you kind of have to look into. And I thought about this years ago. I'm like, can I just transition to a female and just start playing on the girls volleyball team, right? Like that, you know, that kind of doesn't make sense to me. And vice versa, like can someone who's female transition to a male team and do that? You know, again, it doesn't make sense. I don't care about the advantage or the disadvantage. I mean, that's not my thought process, but just my thought process alone is like, if you're a male, you should be in the male sport. Maybe if you're transgender, maybe they should just have a transgender sport, right? I mean, maybe that would be better. And then you would be able to meet and play with people who are all transgender, right? Whether they've like fully gone over to another, like to male or female, maybe they're non-binary, I don't know. But you know, and you all group together that way. I don't know, right? I don't know. Or maybe that would single them out more and be like, yo, this person's not actually female, they are transgender. Where if they actually transitioned to female and played on a female team, they'd feel like more included, right? In that, you know, in that area. I don't know. But I think the whole thing about the sport, like I said, I think this chick's onto the right idea. I think I fully agree, man. Like if there is a disadvantage there towards everyone else, that should be taken care of. That should be looked at. But you know, but that's where you start getting into the greasy areas, right? Because it's like, okay, well then you're taking away this person's right to play in that sport. Well, you know what? Like, sorry, man, if you're a male, you should be in the male, right? In the male category. And that should just determine it right then and there, right? It, like, biologically, if there's an advantage, that should be kind of where you're put. You know, I maybe that, and that's what we're going to see. Maybe we're going to start seeing, okay, if you're a female and you want to compete in a male, you know, run-a-thon or whatever, I don't know, whatever they call them, maybe you should have that option then at that point, right? And vice versa, right? So maybe then a bunch of guys are like, fuck, I can't compete a bunch of dudes. They're gonna go compete against the females and be like, man, this is a bunch easier, right? Because again, I have an advantage. If that's true, that's pretty fucked. So I don't know. That's kind of where I stand on it, I guess. I hope I broke it down for you enough. If you guys and girls disagree or agree, let me know. And, you know, we'll kind of go from there. You want to slap a like on the video? I don't know. Fucking go for it. I ain't gonna stop you. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace. See you in the next one.